Not all niches are created equal. Some are going to print you money for your automation business, while others are just going to drain your time and your money. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple niches to stay away from, 3 automation agency niches that you could target today, problems that those niches commonly face, and automation ideas that you could sell to them today to make you some money. So let's get into it. I'm just going to start by talking about the couple that I think you should probably stay away from. So it's, as you can see on the screen, B2B and software as a service. Now, I'll put B2B. I meant B2B tech. So the reason being is because I've worked in business to business tech. I worked for a managed service provider, 2 of them for over 3 years, or just almost 3 years. And the thing is, a lot of these companies have in-house expertise. So if you're trying to sell them automation services, a lot of them already will sell that. A lot of MSPs and tech companies, they work really closely with Microsoft. They're either going to be gold partners with them, or a lot of them aspire to become high-level partners of Microsoft. Now, Microsoft have their own automation platform, and it's called the Power Automate platform. With this, all you need to do is have or purchase a few licenses, have the automation built by the experts. You'll also receive an app to trigger the automation, and it's done from there. So a lot of the automations that you try and build for them could be done on Microsoft's own platform, leveraging their level of security, leveraging the licenses that they probably already buy, because a lot of people already have Outlook and Microsoft and those types of licenses. So why would these tech companies who can do a lot of the automations that you're going to create for them themselves using leveraging Microsoft security and the capabilities that they already have in-house, why would they pay you when they could just do it themselves? So that's the main reason, and that's from my experience with working within B2B tech. I haven't even tried to reach out to them just because I just know I've worked closely with sales directors, CEOs within these companies who they just wouldn't be interested in buying automations off freelancers and agencies like us when they could just do a lot of the stuff in-house themselves. The next one is there's high competition. So a lot of people talk about tech and SaaS as good industries to get into. Now, you think of the amount of people, the amount of channels that are on YouTube talking about this, and then the amount of consumers that are listening to this stuff and thinking, yeah, that's a great idea to go out and contact them. These guys will now be getting peppered with cold emails, being offered automation services. You want to find a niche or an industry that people aren't speaking to, people aren't cold emailing. And because of the amount of people that have talked about these 2 industries, these 2 niches, I feel like I don't believe in the word saturation, but I don't think it's the right industry for newcomers and people to be getting into. Does this mean that you're not going to have any success with these industries? No, not at all. This is just my personal opinion, and I'd say probably my personal expertise from actually working within these sort of sectors. Now, they also have extremely long sales cycles. There's not just one decision maker where you speak to and he's going to make the decision and whether it's yes or no. You're probably going to speak to a sales director who's then going to have to speak to the CFO, the chief financial officer, or the CTO or the CEO or the CCO. There's so many decision makers that it's a bit of a longer sales process. And if you are new to sales, if you are new to automation, imagine you sat on a call doing a demo in front of 5 people who are ruthless like these people. All they care about is the growth of their business. And if you don't really feel confident or competent in actually building the systems and speaking to these people about them, you're going to feel very intimidated on calls like that. And I don't want to see anyone going through that. So that's another reason why I'd stay away from industries like this. And they also rarely outsource. Companies like this tend to grow very quickly. They tend to utilize tech themselves to grow, which is why they do so well, meaning from that, they can now actually outsource. So they also they can hire in-house. So they'll have their own marketing team who will have maybe 5 to 10 people in there, maybe a bit less, 4, who know what they're on about when it comes to cold email, know what they're on about when it comes to SEO and content creation, know what they're on about when it comes to getting leads in. Does that mean that all these are incredible at getting leads for their salespeople? No, because in my experience, they're crap. Salespeople always want more leads and they're struggling to get it, and the first people to blame are marketing. So that could be a pain point if you really wanted to go in and speak or target these niches, is that the salespeople aren't getting enough leads. But I wouldn't advise it, because normally they have a lot of the skills in-house to be able to do that, and they prefer not to outsource. it would be like a last resort for them. Now, does that mean all of them don't? No, a lot of them do. There's a lot of lead generation agencies that are dedicated just to tech companies and big companies that earn a lot of money. So they clearly do well. But you're just an automations agency. You just want to create systems for people. And I just don't think tech and SaaS are the industries to do that. So who do I think you should be targeting if you were to contact? Now, I've already done a video on my channel about not niching down and just when you're starting out, just going for sort of everyone and anyone, especially if you have got some social proof behind you. You could just say you can help company X generate so much with a few automation tweaks. You've looked into their business, so to speak. You've personalized an email and you could help them by tweaking a few things, including AI, including automation, and that would increase revenue in the long run. But if you did want to just niche down and go after specific industries and companies, these are the ones, based off my experiences from messaging anyone and everyone, the most that are replying and interested in the services that I sell. So number one is marketing agencies. Now, there's so many of them. You can scrape 10,000 leads easily, even more, very, very easily. I like them because there's not many very, very big ones. There's normally, like, you can get a lot of 1 to 10 people companies. And I think they're perfect for the lead gen system, for example, because they tend to work a lot with referrals. They tend to use their own sort of skills within marketing and SEO, so to speak, and content creation. They tend to get a few leads through those types of paths, but they could still do with the lead gen system and they're still interested in it. So you can sell one service, which I think would be the lead gen system, which you can plug and play. So you've built it before and you can just implement it into their business within an hour with a few little tweaks here and there. And then once you get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of these clients, the one that you get on with the most, that you've had some great conversations with, they're really happy with the service, a few weeks down the road, you could then start pitching another automation that would really help them. For example, they use a lot of software, so you can automate a lot of their processes. You could just have all their bits of software that they use, link them through API calls and make it a lot more seamless. So for example, a lot of them use Google Trends and SEMrush or keywords everywhere. You could then put that through AI and then create a report through Google Analytics. Or a lot of them look at their reports through Google Analytics, how they're performing, which campaigns are performing better, which social media posts are performing better. You could then put that through AI and then either repurpose it so they have a never-ending amount of content, or you could have AI spit out reports and ideas for what their strategy could be like going forward and could look like going forward. And then you could just pitch them automations. And then once you've implemented one automation into that one company that I mentioned before, who you got on well with the most, you could then start plugging and playing, putting them into the other marketing agencies that you've sold the lead gen system to. And you've got a bit of social proof behind you. And that's all this sort of AI automation agency business model needs to be. That's how I do it. I sell the lead gen system. I make sure they're extremely happy with it. And then I talk to them about other automations that I can do that are going to really increase revenue, decrease the time that they're spending on this stuff, make their operation and process a whole lot seamless. Instead of it being like a roller coaster, just make it nice one line that's really simple, straightforward and easy to follow. And then you can start pitching that to the other people and say, I've done this for X company. It's really helping them with Y pain point. Shall we look at implementing that into your business as well? A good one I've done is actually the Google Trends. So Shopify would scrape Google Trends. We'd then put it through. They were using SEMrush, which is not a cheap software. I think it's like $500 a month. We were putting some of that data through SEMrush, then putting it through AI and then creating a whole report which they'd use to make better and more strategic decisions and just increase their overall business intelligence. Recruitment agencies are a great one. Now, you've probably seen these quite a lot through other YouTubers. They do talk about recruitment agencies, but I do think they're great. I used to work in recruitment and I know they're always looking for lead gen. A lot of the stuff they do in-house, they tend to hire young people, right? Straight out of uni or straight out of college at 18, 19, 20, and they tend to hire them and get them, into sales. It's not a big wage, but you can earn a lot through commission. And they tend to have them sort of searching for candidates in the morning. And then in the afternoon, they're doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of outbound and a lot of outreach. Now, if they're spending 20 grand a year on a young person who's fresh and is not really, might be a bit hungry, but there's a high turnover in recruitment. No, it's not for everyone. It's a very cliquey industry, I think, to work in. It's they work you very hard, which is good for some people, and the rewards pay off if you're resilient and you're determined. But there's just a high turnover, so a lot of recruitment companies just hire and then they have to get rid, and then they have to hire again, or the person leaves and they have to keep hiring. So this is a common pain point. So this is something you could say to them: instead of hiring, why not I build you a system which gets a constant influx of leads straight into your inbox that either you could go after, or you could hire someone young to then learn a lot better, and they've got inbound warm leads then, instead of having to pick up the phone, cold calling, getting their own leads in, and are probably getting maybe one lead a week from doing that. It's not very time efficient. It's not very money efficient. So what I've tend to notice is that they prefer to own a system that they can just use. They can hand out leads to their employees. Another great one is a lead nurturing and follow-up system. So with recruitment, like I say, it's very much sales-based. So you do have to be relentless in speaking to leads. And then once you've got a sort of sniff of any kind of interest, you have to keep following up. A lot of people get quite lazy and don't tend to follow up and are leaving a lot of money on the table. So a system that I've implemented into recruitment agencies is just a continuous following up and lead nurturing system. It personalizes it, so it will trigger whenever they post on LinkedIn, or it will trigger when something's happened, and then it'll automatically email based off of that trigger. So I've seen you done this. This is great. How's it going? Remember we spoke a few weeks ago about X, Y, and Z. You could do the lead gen system, but for candidates, which works really well. And you could also nurture those candidates, because again, these guys with candidates, they're not looking to leave straight away unless they've got open to work in their LinkedIn bio. They don't want to leave their business. They might be enjoying it, but you've got to make them understand when you're in recruitment, of opportunities that are available elsewhere. But it's about building a relationship with them, building that rapport through nurturing and continuous follow-ups. So they keep you in mind for maybe if they are wanting to leave their job in the future, the first person you want them to ring is the recruitment person. So again, continuous nurturing is really important. And if that can just be done autonomously, completely automatically, it's going to save people a lot of time and make them a lot more money, because people are lazy and they do not follow up as well as they probably should. And an optimized CRM automation is really, really important for recruitment agencies to keep on top of the candidates and to keep on top of the clients. So imagine you've spoke to a client, a business who are looking to hire X, Y, and Z, and they have to keep track of that. They have to put that into their CRM, because then when they actually notice a candidate that comes up later down the line, they want to be able to match that with the job that they found or the client that they found a few weeks ago, if that makes sense. So if you could build a system that, one, when they put a client in there and put in exactly what they're wanting into there, then later down the line, when they end up putting a candidate into their CRM as well that they spoke to, it automatically matches them and says, hey, you should probably speak to candidate about client, or client about candidate. That's probably the best system that I've implemented into recruitment agencies that they've seen some incredible results with and have been really, really happy with. And one that a lot of people don't actually speak about is Shopify stores. Again, there is hundreds of thousands of them that you could be speaking to. Hundreds of thousands of stores means hundreds of thousands of opportunities. Again, they use a lot of different types of software, and it gets quite messy, and these bits of software do need to be centralized. Imagine just having everything dotted around. If you could somehow centralize that, a lot of them will have API documentation. So you could just link each one with each one, have them speaking to each other 24 hours a day and outputting something like a report or some sort of data analytic report, or just make that whole process a lot smoother again. They don't have to go from one bit of software to another bit of software to another bit of software. They can just trigger an automation that speaks to each other, and then the output comes wherever in a Google Sheets or whatever it is. Now, these are probably the two biggest ones is a voice calling agent and a chatbot. Now, with tools like Vappy, which I'll show you how to build like a customer support agent soon, tools like Vappy, you could spin one up in 10 minutes, spin a demo up in 5 minutes and show them, and they'll be really impressed that you've been able to build something so quickly. They could use it for customer support, so they don't have to outsource to, say, what are they called? A call center, or the owner isn't having to ring up or whatever. And also order taking as well. If people want to place orders or refunds or anything like that, can all just be done through AI, chatbots, voice calling agents, which is going to be really super helpful. And these are high ticket offerings. You could sell these for a lot of money. But as long as you're making that company aware of how it's going to solve their pain points, suddenly the value goes up, and them thinking how expensive it is goes down. They start thinking more about the results and less about the price. So chatbots, you can do order taking, customer support, and it's really, really easy to just throw them on the website for them. Again, high ticket. So yeah, I hope that helps, gives you an idea of, I want you to make sure people were aware of niches that you probably should not speak to, but also give you a few ideas if you wanted to niche down, who you should be going for. There's another video, if you haven't seen it already, on my channel about not niching down and, being a AI and hyper automations agency. You can automate anyone's workflow. The main thing is about just getting on a call with them, understanding their processes, understanding their business, and then giving them a solution off the back of that. But yeah, if you found this useful, we're pushing to 1,000 subscribers, which would be great to hit that this week. So give it a like, push the videos out to as many people as possible. You know what the algorithm likes. Subscribe, drop me a comment. I'm answering everyone's questions, and I'll see you in the next one.